look at me, we're going to pretend like this isn't here. Hardest question first. Can you sing, spell your first and last name?
Joseph. Joseph, Morgan, Morgan.
And any title, organizer, anything you want to go with this?
Yeah, I'm the chairman of the Recall Rahina 2020 Super PAC that was formed to recall the mayor.
And so tell me what you have going on here today.
Well, today this is our initial kickoff event for the Recall Rahina 2020 effort, and we've been planning this for months. I officially filed the affidavit on Monday, and then they had the petitions prepared. I picked them up about an hour ago now. And of course, as you can see, we're going to be here from 5 to 10. We've been promoting this, and we already have a massive line of people. We have about 600 volunteers who've already signed up, and we have many more coming to help us because we need about 25,000 minimum in 4 months, and of course our goal is about 30,000. So we're going to need a lot of volunteers, but we have tons, and of course this is the big kickoff night. That's why these people are here.
Would you say that's the primary mission today, is to raise awareness for this petition that you're trying to get filed?
Yeah, this is the big kickoff event to raise awareness. But we've been raising awareness on social media primarily, but now the local media has picked it up as well, and of course some talk radio shows have started telling people about it. But this is the first night. I just now picked them up, so this is day one of the Recall Rahina 2020 effort.
How many people do you expect to come out here today? How many people do you think are supporting this movement?
Well, there's thousands and thousands that are supporting this movement. Tonight, we expect probably about 500-600 people to actually come here, whether they're just stopping to gather signatures to sign or to actually pick up petitions. We have several volunteers who are coming tonight, but others who said they couldn't make it, so we're getting them the petitions. But again, we expect 500 to 600 people to be here tonight throughout the evening. We'll be here from 5 to 10, like I said, is going to announce.
Tell me more about the movement and why you feel so strongly about Recall Rahina right now.
Well, I think the biggest impetus for why this has taken off so much in the way that it has, and there's a real groundswell of support that is just rising every day, and it has to do with two things. First of all, when the mayor attacked a citizen of the city of Tucson and labeled him a white supremacist without basis, that was an attack and an assault upon all of us as citizens, but then she did it in conjunction with their effort to paint a blue line in support of law enforcement. So it was an attack upon law enforcement as well. Meanwhile, she used public funds to allow BLM to paint a mural on the streets of downtown, plus she put up the BLM banner. So that really drew a lot of angst and ire from a lot of people. But as we've continued on in the COVID-19 crisis, her policies continue to crush small business, and the local economic issue is a major driving force. I have tons of business owners who have been reaching out to me. They are joining this effort. They are helping. Obviously, I will not be naming any of them here, but I can tell you it's very real. And that issue, along with the initial one, are the two driving forces as to why people are coming out in force and they want to see this mayor gone, because we need a mayor who is not wed to a partisan ideology, but is really looking out for the best interests of this community.
Why did you feel the initiative to spearhead this movement, as just if you don't mind talking about that?
I don't mind. The problem is when I tell people how I initially got involved, the news media thus far has made it all about that. And I don't want that, because that's not true. The vast majority of people are not in this because of my reasoning. I started this from day one because of the overreach of government, both here at the state level and across this country, regarding COVID-19 restrictions and mask mandates. And so when a lot of people said we need to remove this mayor, I was already very politically active in everything. I know how to organize. I said, I'll do it. That was my motivation. But that is not the number one reason why people get involved. So I would appreciate it if you would say, no, I'm just saying, the reason why I have been honest and I tell people that, and then the news media makes that the only issue, and it's really not for most people that are involved in this, but it is why I started. It is why I protested in front of the mayor's home months and months ago, and that's just me personally, because I am a principled person who believes that when government steps out of its lane to trample on rights, you cut them off very early. You don't let it get to where it is now. And so that's why I took it upon my shoulders to do this. But all these other reasons, the waste of taxpayer dollars on so many other issues, she's not addressing the roads. Meanwhile, she's doing a lot of these other projects, $6 million for a library renovation. I mean, these are issues that are real substantive that I totally agree with, and everybody else is now jumping on board with. So that's honestly, I'm just being honest with you, that's why I, right at the start, got involved in this. Because of my political activism and my belief that government should be held to account when they cross over and start mandating and trampling on our individual liberties.
And I don't want you to feel like you have to answer anything that I throw at you. It's not.
Oh, it's fine. I'm a person who I want to answer questions. Sure. I'm not trying to not answer questions. I just want the world to know the reasoning behind why so many people are involved in this effort, and it has nothing to do with that.
Maybe that's a good question. What is one misconception that people have about your movement right now?
I think the greatest misconception, and it is a direct result of the way the media coverage here to this point has been, is that this is all about the masks. That we are a bunch of anti-science people who are coming against public safety initiatives by this mayor in particular, and we need to stop doing that. And that's the only reason why we want to throw her out. Plus, there's the radical element that says because I'm a white guy, that we're all just a bunch of white racists out to take out the first Latina mayor. Totally untrue on both counts. And I would say those are the two biggest misconceptions that is going on in the community right now. But it's not deterred anybody from joining or getting involved, because, you know, labeling everybody who's against you politically racist, xenophobic, misogynistic has worn out in the communities of America, because we're real citizens. One of the three people who's on the statement of organization is a Pasquayaki Indian. So this has nothing to do with race. It has everything to do with our community. We love this community, and we think this mayor is wrong for this community.
I have no problems doing that.
Any
So if they step forward to get the other ones,
you feel that the majority of
city government knows who I am. Well, the city government knows who I am. I work for them for 10 years.
how do you feel about the population of Tucson getting behind this?
Well, I think the population of Tucson is behind this already. Statistically, I think, and the voting records will show this, the vast majority of Tucson does not engage in the local political process, which is a tragedy. We had less than 50% turnout for the mayor race to begin with. She doesn't have any kind of a mandate to run this city. I know she thinks she does because she won an election, but she didn't win it with a super majority of votes in any way, shape, matter, or form, because a lot of the registered voters in the city didn't even vote. And then there's many other people that aren't engaged. However, there are many people that are living under this, and they are mad. I have people who are registered voters, but they don't vote, and they want to sign the petition. Well, thank God they can. But my whole point is, we're here because you don't engage in the political process. People need to engage more in the political process, and I think that there's an awakening to that reality, and that's a good thing as well for us. That's not a bad thing, but we only need 30,000, but we need a minimum of 25,000. We're going for 30,000, and there's 54,000 registered Republicans, there's 82,000 registered independents, and this is a nonpartisan issue, and there's plenty of Democrats who are angry at her as well. So there's plenty of people out there to get this initiative. The greater thing will be the recall election, and that'll be a bridge to cross when we get there.
I guess I want to give you this time now to add any final thoughts, anything I didn't ask. I know you have a big line and you want to get back to talking to everybody. Anything I didn't ask that you want to touch on, or any summarizing thoughts, anything like that?
I would just say the number one reason we're doing this is because we need a public servant who recognizes that they are there to serve the entire community, not somebody who is wed to a partisan small group within her own party, and she has manifested that she would rather put partisan politics ahead of public concerns. And when it comes to the law enforcement issue, that's actually in the public charter. That's in her job title. She swears an oath. It's to fix the roads, deal with parks, and public safety. and when she demeans law enforcement, and when she will not publicly support law enforcement, but actually comes out in support for an organization that has definite Marxist radical ties throughout this nation, it's a real problem, and it's very unsettling to a lot of people in this community. So when we have a mayor who does that, and then a mayor who doesn't even have the grace to recognize that when you're in that office, you can no longer just say whatever you want to say. You have a responsibility. You can't attack or libel a citizen. The taxpayers are now on the hook for what she did, and we're going to lose that case. And you know, thank God that family is going to be taken care of, but they received death threats as a result of it. It tarnished his image, and she had no basis for what she did. And all to what? To stop him from painting a blue line in support of law enforcement? This is the kind of thing, and when we have a mayor who sees an opportunity to score political points rather than say, look at the real science of what's going on and say, do we really need to be locking down everything? I mean, if masks work, then we should be able to open up everything. We shouldn't be able to have all these restrictions. We should be crushing small business. If she cared about this community and the small businesses that make up this community, then that's what she should be doing. And these are the issues that really matter, and they speak to the heart of why so many in this community are saying, this is not a good mayor, this is not a good public servant, and we need to find somebody else who will take that office as a public servant seriously.
Perfect. All right, thank you, Joseph.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. I'll take that mic back from you before
Absolutely.
I forget.
Well, I don't want to keep it.